Yes, and welcome back to the Fresh Arsenal Show Transfer Shorts. And today we are going to be reviewing one of my favourite central midfielders in Europe in the shape of Fabian Ruiz. So maybe a little bit biased on this one, but I'm definitely not getting too excited on the Arsenal front. I think this is a player that the likes of Barcelona and the top clubs in Italy would be after if he's on the market. But a central midfielder, 26 years of age, approaching his prime years. He's not a player who relies on pace at all, so I can see him sort of peaking in his late 20s. Capped 15 times for Spain, and I expect him to rack up many more caps in the next few years. He's 6'2" tall as well, which is quite rare for a Spanish technician midfielder. And his value there at 49.5 million, according to Transfermarkt, is some talk that he would be available for a lot less than that, which I think would be a brilliant deal. Just a quick reminder to please subscribe to the channel below and like the video if you enjoy the content. It'll really help us produce more of these throughout the summer. So what we're looking at now is Fabian Ruiz's strengths, and there are a lot of them, but they very much center around his passing statistics and his end product. So in terms of goals, what you're looking at on the right is how he compares to other central midfielders. He's very much a midfielder that can add goals to this Arsenal team, which is something I think we really need to try and make sure we address when we add another central midfielder. We've got quite a few options currently at Arsenal, but not many of them are contributing goals, and Ruiz will certainly address that, averaging more than 1 in 5 at 0.23. And assists as well, he's ranking really highly at 0.16. And in terms of non-penalty goals, none of his goals come from penalties, so he's 95th percentile in that. Passes under pressure, then, that's one that really excites me with Ruiz and why I've been drawn to him for some time. He's a player that is almost press resistant, and the thought of him and Partey and Ødegaard all together in the midfield really excites me. He averages 12.65 passes under pressure. So I don't think any worry about him transitioning from the Italian league to the Premier League because he's shown his ability to play under pressure. And we saw Arsenal suffer from a lack of players able to do that in the run-in this season. Another very good stat, progressive passes. This isn't a player who's constantly passing sideways and backwards. He's looking to move the ball forward, and 83rd percentile on that front as well. But in terms of his pass completion, his passes completed, this is a player who gets very involved in the play. 97th percentile, averaging 72.63 passes per game, which is a huge amount. And his passing distance as well and progressive passing distances are both really high. Now we're looking at some of his transition and duel stats, which again you can see are pretty good. What really stands out to me here is ability to carry the ball. Arsenal have signed a lot of players who are able to beat their man and carry the ball forward in recent years. And I think that's very much top of the criteria for players who are coming in. And as you can see here, Ruiz is 96th percentile, making 63.04 carries per game, and some really good carrying distance as well. So for someone of his height, 6'2", we saw at the start, a player who can carry the ball with that much confidence and that much success is really exciting for this team. An area perhaps then that he's a bit weaker on is in tackles. So only 2.05 per game. That's 38th percentile. So what he does bring moving forward in terms of goals, assists, progressive passing and carries, he may lack a little bit defensively. But I think from what Arsenal are trying to get from perhaps a left 8 in their team, that is a sacrifice they should be willing to take. And interceptions wise, he's still well above average, 1.92 per game. So it's not like he's defensively completely absent. So how would Ruiz fit into the Arsenal team? Well, I see this being pretty straightforward. He's a left-footed player, a player who can come straight into that left 8 role and provide quite a big upgrade on Xhaka, I'd suggest, especially once he's settled into the Premier League. As you can see on screen, we would have our left winger, traditionally is right-footed. We've been playing Smith Rowe or Martinelli. So them coming inside and supporting the centre forward. Ruiz would be able to drift into that left half space and use his left foot to sort of knit together that left side a bit better in the attacking third. Arsenal have had some great control around the opposition box from Ødegaard and Xhaka, but I think if we had Ruiz on the other side, it would give us a double threat and create pressure on the opposition all across the pitch, especially with Tierney bombing on, looking to overlap as well. So as I mentioned there, Ruiz would be coming in for Xhaka's position. Arsenal have also been strongly linked with Youri Tielemans. So what I wanted to do is compare all three of them together. And as you can see, Ruiz on passing, these are passing stats we're looking at now, he comes out on top in every single area. So this is a player who's technically extremely secure. And if Arsenal are looking to kill the opposition with passes, this is a player who looks like he can do that better than both Xhaka and Tielemans. It's one of Tielemans' weaker areas in terms of ball retention. We can see that he's not got a brilliant pass completion statistics. Of course, what we have to factor in here is these have all played for different teams. And we're looking at their entire career stats here. So there is a little bit of a shifting that would occur if they all played for the same team, of course. But I think it's undeniable that Ruiz definitely takes the crown in terms of passing. So now we're looking at more attacking-based metrics. And interestingly, Tielemans does pip Ruiz on most of these, but the two that Tielemans doesn't win, Ruiz is coming out on top. So Tielemans, a very good player. And if you haven't watched it already, we have done a transfer short on him as well. So give that a watch by having a look on our channel. But what's clear here to see is that both players would provide a big upgrade on Xhaka in that attacking aspect. Xhaka with the red box in pretty much all of these comparisons. Ruiz then coming out on top with the carries. He carries the ball a lot more than Tielemans, nearly double, and does create more shot creating actions from his play than both Tielemans and Xhaka. But Tielemans does come out on top in XG, assists and goals and shots on target. So final aspect we're going to compare these three players at is defending. So a bit of a mixed bag we can see here in terms of defending. Xhaka amazingly winning treble the aerial duels of Ruiz, despite Ruiz being 6'2". So Ruiz's height definitely helps him in duels and being able to carry the ball. And as you can see there, being able to tackle other people dribbling. He uses his strength well and uses his body in duels, but he's not someone who uses that in the aerial duels particularly well. In terms of pressing, Ruiz is coming out on top and commits a lot less fouls than Tielemans and Xhaka. But Tielemans, interestingly, does make the most tackles, is very close on that one, and the most blocks, again, very close. So I would say that Ruiz is probably slightly the better player defensively than both of these. So my verdict then would absolutely be that Ruiz would be an excellent signing for Arsenal. Tielemans as well, I think, would be a very good signing. But Ruiz, if it was one or the other for me, would probably just pip it. I just think he's got that extra technical excellence and the ability to dominate the ball that Arteta is looking for. Thank you very much for watching the latest transfer short from the Fresh Arsenal Show. If you haven't already, please subscribe below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like the video.